Welcome to the new video on Allegro Teach. We will look at system technologies and we will look at what is software and also what type of software do we have. And if you enjoy the video, please remember to subscribe. Let's start. So let's start with the basic difference between hardware and software. Hardware is everything you can physically see and touch. The screen, keyboard, mouse, case, printer, and even the circuits and chips inside the box. Software is very different. Software is a set of instructions or programs that tell the hardware what to do. You can't touch software like you touch a keyboard. It's stored as data on a disk or in memory, and it only becomes visible when the computer is running. Hardware without software is just an empty shell. Software without hardware has nowhere to run. A working computer system needs both. We can define software as the programs and data that control how the hardware works. A program is a list of instructions that the CPU can follow. These instructions are stored electronically on a storage device like the hard drive or SSD and loaded into the memory when you run them. Every time you open a game, a browser, or a word processor, you are running software that tells the hardware exactly what to do, step by step. Just like all hardware are not created equal, all software does not do the same job. Software is divided into two main categories. System software, that helps the computer itself to work properly. It manages the hardware and provides a platform for other programs. Application software helps the user to do specific tasks, like typing a letter, watching a video, or browsing the internet. In other words, system computers serves the computer and application software serves the user. Okay, so let's look at system software. System software is the software that runs the computer itself. It sits between the hardware and all the other programs. It controls the hardware, manages resources like memory and storage, and provides services that other programs depend on. System software includes the operating system, utility programs such as antivirus and backup tools, and drivers that allow the operating system to communicate with hardware devices. Application software can't run properly without system software beneath it. So for this video, we are looking at the operating system and the hardware and the applications. And as we've just learned, the operating system controls the hardware and the applications is dependent on the operating system to work properly. The most important example of system software is the operating system, or often shortened to OS. The operating system is the main program that loads when the computer starts. It manages all the hardware, like the CPU, memory, storage, and devices. And it controls programs that run and when. It also provides a user interface or a GUI, usually a graphical user interface, the icons and the menus, so that you can interact with a computer without typing complex commands. Examples of operating systems are Windows, Linux, Mac OS on computers, and Android or iOS on smartphones. Application software is written to help the user perform specific tasks. If the operating system is like the manager of the computer, applications are like the workers that actually do the jobs you care about. Word processors help you to create documents. Spreadsheets help you work with numbers and calculations. Browsers let you access the internet. Media players let you listen to music and watch videos. And games provide entertainment. In CAT, we focus especially on the office type applications, which include word processing, spreadsheets, databases, and presentations, which is office or productivity software. So, just quick definitions. The operating system is system software that manages hardware and software processes in a computer. Application software is computer programs designed to help users perform specific tasks. We are rather particular in the words that you use for these definitions, so make sure that you memorize them. So, let's look at a few clear examples. On the system software side, we have operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac OS on computers, and Android or iOS on the phone. We also have utility programs like antivirus, disk cleanup, backup tools, and compression tools such as zip programs. Drivers are also system software, for example, a printer driver or a graphics driver. On the application software side, we have word processors like Microsoft Word, spreadsheets like Excel, databases like Access, presentations, programs like PowerPoint, web browsers like Chrome or Edge, and media players and games or specialized programs such as accounting or design software. In an examination question, always check, does this software run the computer or does it help the user with a task? That usually tells you in which category it belongs to. We don't always buy these application software as individual programs. We buy them in a software suite. They will always have some form of the combination of a processor, spreadsheet, database, as well as presentation software or an email application. The one we use in CAT is Microsoft Office, which has Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, as well as Access as a database. The free shareware is LibreOffice, which has Writer in the place of Word, Calc in the place of Excel, and Impress in the place of PowerPoint. They also have Base, which is their Access version. We will go into this more detail at a later time. Now the big question, why system software and why is it so important? Now imagine a computer with no operating system. You would not even be able to reach the usual desktop and you would not be able to run any applications. The OS is responsible for loading programs into the memory, giving each program time on the CPU, reading and writing files to storage, and sending output to the screen and printer. It also handles security features like usernames and passwords and permissions that controls who is allowed to access certain files. That's why questions like, why do we need an operating system, appear often in the exam. The operating system is absolutely essential for the system to function. We will go into the operating system in more detail in the next video. Now, the same software concepts apply on different devices. On a desktop or laptop, the operating system might be Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, and you run applications like Word, Excel, browsers, and media players. On a smartphone, the operating system might be Android or iOS, and you run apps like messaging, social media, maps, and games. Even though the devices look different, both have system software underneath and application software on the top. This is why CAT exam question often mentions phones and tablets, not just desktop computers. So, time to complete your summary. Always remember it's best to do from memory without looking at your notes, and this should help you to prepare just before an exam. You should know the system software definition for the operating system, definitions, as well as different examples on different devices. Application software, definitions and examples. And the operating system, where does it sit in terms of the hardware and application software? And why is each one important? Thank you for watching the video with me. and I hope you now have a better understanding of system technologies or system software, hardware, application software, and the operating system. In our next video, we will take a deeper look at the operating system and user interfaces, or GUI. Please subscribe if you would like to be notified when the next video is loaded, and any likes, comments, and shares will always be very much appreciated. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.